you can do whatever you want in a sexual scenario with your partner as long as it's consensual, and it doesn't mean anything. It just means you're exploring pleasure. Fundamental bottom line.
I think this is the most risque we've ever been on this podcast. It's very exciting for me to talk to you. I really appreciate the depth you're going to and the things you're willing to explore. I want to ask a question, which is, so you talk to a lot of people about sex. I know you've talked to a lot of women. I know you've talked to a lot of men. And for the men listening, what do women want? What do women want sexually? What do you talked about being the man you wanted to have in your life, to bestow a little wisdom to us men about what women are and what they want.
Well, two things come up, and the first one, it's neat. It's not me bestowing wisdom. It's me transferring the wisdom that I've learned. But basically, I surveyed hundreds and hundreds of women last year about this very thing, and found that there is something that they're wanting, generally speaking, right? Most men think that the holy grail of sex is being able to last as long as you want and fuck as hard as you want for hours and hours and hours, but that's not what women want. In this survey, I asked them, like, have you ever had sex with a man who could last as long as he wanted? It was something like 85 to 90% of these women said yes. But then I asked them, okay, what was that like? And they all gave short answer responses, and I went through with a highlighter and color-coded different types of responses. And actually, roughly, again, about 85, 90% of those responses, 85 to 90% of the women who said they had been with a man who could last as long as they want, said something negative about the experience. And the reason they said it was negative was because they didn't feel connection with him. They didn't feel his presence. They felt like he was just showing off, or he was using them, or just like going, like the connection wasn't there. But there was that 10% of women that said the combination of being able to go as long as you want with presence was like, that was the holy grail, And then even it didn't even matter if the man could go as long as he wanted, if that connection and that deep presence was there. And to put it in terms that I've learned to love and embody from two of my favorite teachers, John Wineland and David Dita, it's like, women don't want to just be physically fucked. Like, they want to be energetically penetrated. They want you to penetrate their heart and their soul and their entire existence and being with your love and with your presence. And if you can do that while you also physically penetrate them, that's just incredible. It's absolutely incredible. And so that's a huge thing that I would invite people to start thinking about and considering. And I realize, like, energetically penetrate might be a totally out there concept. So to put it in more practical terms, just how deeply present and loving can you be with your partner while you make love with them? And see if you can do it just a little bit more.
So let's make it even more practical. Like, what should men do with their eyes, their nose, their mouth, their hearts, their cocks? You ready?
Yeah.
What's presence look like in those areas?
Huge tool for presence is breath. Breath is one of the most underrated things that we have available to us in any given moment. Let's take a deep breath.
That's it.
2 more. And 1 more. And notice, even just after those 3 breaths, there's a subtle difference in your experience of your body and your mental awareness too. And breathing deeply like this over and over and over again in the lovemaking experience will bring you deeper into presence. It will drop you further into the moment. And this, I say, I tell guys to do this, or I invite guys to do this as soon as you start feeling like you're being sexual with your partner. Start to breathe deeply into your belly and make your breath a practice for at least the first 5 to 10 minutes of whatever it is that you're doing. And it's just gonna like make all the other distractions go away, and it's gonna enhance your pleasure too. So breath, that's a huge one. Eye contact is big. And it also is very, it's variable for the couple. Like, I don't want to say there's one universal thing about eye contact. I will say that like breath is almost universal, you know, do that. And then take your time. There's no rush, you know, just take your time. Touch their hair, touch their neck, touch their low back, touch their legs, like kiss their belly button, you know, all this stuff, and invite them to do that for you. And if you notice that there's any part of yourself that's like rushing to penetration, or you have this desire for them to rush to get to your penis, then like take another deep breath and see if you can just let that go. Like, I noticed when we did those 3 deep breaths right now, there was even still a part of me that thought, oh, do we even have time for 3 deep breaths? Like, we should be moving on to the next thing, you know? And this thought is pervasive in our reality, you know, and breath is a great tool to slow that down. And that thought like very much enters into the sexual experience. I mean, can you relate with that?
Totally, totally. I've seen a lot of people, myself included, saying, just going to that next thing, being always future focused, going, okay, but I don't have time, I have to do that next thing.
Totally. And so much of what we modernly call Tantra and all these Eastern sexual traditions, like, yeah, maybe they sound mystical and esoteric and totally out there, but one of the, like, the main thing that they're all doing is trying to get you into deeper presence and connection with yourself so you can be in deeper connection with your partner in those experiences. Because that's where this like incredible, that's where the cosmic orgasm is, if you've ever heard that term. You know, it's when you're completely present and connected with yourself and your lover in the sexual experience, so much so that it doesn't matter if you have penetrative sex or not, because you're just loving the smell of her arm, or like the feeling of her hair brushing across your face, you know, or their hair or his hair or whoever it is that you're having sex with, you know.
Well, this is a big wormhole, and for those of you who are interested in exploring this wormhole deeper, they can contact you in a variety of ways. Can you let them know right now?
That's true. Yeah, man, we could talk about this probably for the next 5 hours or 5 days. So I have a website. It's www.taylorjohnson.life. You can see some of my online courses there. There's one about premature ejaculation and overcoming it. There's another semen retention one, which John talked about, and a new one that just recently came out for couples, actually, to explore, to go deeper into intimacy and connection, and to be able to explore the energy of ravishing each other, which is another topic we didn't get into, but it's one of people's biggest fantasies. It's like, so many people want to be just taken and ravished, and so many people want to, but there's so much fear there. So this is like, here's how to do it.
Cool. It sounds like a good course.
And on Instagram, it's @TaylorClarkJohnson.
And I really recommend Taylor's stuff. I've enjoyed it for years, and I've enjoyed being your friend for years, and I really appreciate you being on the show. And thanks for being here and sharing what's up for you. And just to all the men out there, I hope you enjoyed the show. We'll see you next week. And until then, remember that you really matter.
Yeah, you do matter. And your desires matter.
Good to see you, man.
Wow. Thanks for having me on.
For sure.